we are only saving a little bit of just to show what it was. Now this is kind of interesting. The type of some of the work that was done on that car was a little bit primitive. Here's a splice. This is a ground wire, fairly substantial. Went from one end to the other. All the current from anything, the motors, the lights, the compressor, had to go through the ground wire, and then it was attached to the car bolsters, which then conducted the electricity to the track, and from there it went on to back to the power station. Well, anyway, some circuit, and I think it was either the headlight or the heaters, was attached with this very simple, very ineffective splice, just wrapped. This is heavy solid wire, not flexible at all to any degree, and was just not, I think it was something they must have done at the very, very end when they were running out of money, which is something they were doing all the time, I guess. And they just wrapped the wire around. Now what we will do is we'll do what they did originally on the car, is a T-splice, and it'll be soldered, and there'll be much more wrapping around. It'll be conduct the electricity much better and more dependably. I don't know whether, and these are just various pieces of wire. We found one of them that had gotten very hot. This had all the insulation had burned off the wire here. There's some it's a rubber wire, rubber covered with cotton covering over that. And this wire had gotten very hot. We don't know why, but the car ran into the shop, so it was working up till the last minute anyway.
Okay.
And this is okay. This is the motor control wiring for ASL-100. It was all held in under the car in various ways. The wire is rubber covered, cotton covered wire, stranded, 7-strand wire. This is, I think, a number 6 wire, and I've just separated the strands so you can see. This wire has an advantage that you can bend it around places and it stays there. The more modern flexible wire, you can't. It won't stay. The stiffness, it makes it a little hard to install, but as you're putting it into places and want it to go on a route, it'll stay there quite nicely. We're using the same kind of wire again as was here. The reason we didn't use this again, as you'll see, partly because of the condition it was in, but also because it's 100 years old to begin with, and it probably, some sections of it would be all right, but you don't want to start with wire that's 100 years old because the rubber does disintegrate. One of the reasons, the other reason we're replacing it is because it's such a mess. It's had fires, there are pieces that are cut in and out. I'm going to show you a splice in a second here, and it just was a mess, and copying it, which I had wanted to do, would have been impossible, and we would have been copying some rather marginal stuff. Now maybe we should, because that's the way they were, the Atlantic shoreline, in the last few weeks or years, whatever it was that it took to keep them going. We know there were at least 2 fires in it, because we've seen them and we've seen where they were patched up. Now, for some reason,